If you want to make your home into your castle or even maybe your oasis, stay tuned here. We're going to show you how you can do that. Welcome back, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show. Carteret, which Cardinal Cowboy. I'm wearing the hat to start the show here today, but we have an expert in the building. We had a great half-hour conversation with you just a few minutes ago. We finished up, but literally, like, how do you manage and run a landscaping company that does projects from $500 little beds for flowers to $30,000, $50,000, $150,000. That one place had. We're going to show the pictures up here, everybody. But they had a pickleball court, a putting green, and a pool all in the backyard. This is talking.
They're never leaving.
What's that?
Said they're never leaving.
Yeah, I said they don't have to go anywhere to have all the activities they need to engage. But with that, we'll give a shout out to our sponsors, Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. And how many of us have a home that we have made into our little castle? You can make it into your oasis, make it into your, and get that landscaping done as well. And you might have had that done by our experts right here. I'll put them on the screen. Baker Landscaping and Concrete. Been around for 22 years here in the St. Louis area. Based out of House Springs, Missouri. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Fenton, so we talked about that's not far from where the Cowboy grew up, down Highway 21, a little bit over there down Highway 141. And a great place to be located in the St. Louis area, so you can serve a whole community here of 3.3 million plus people. And you've said you've gone from Wright City and down south all the way. How far south did you say you've gone?
We've gone down to Farmington, Missouri.
Farmington, okay.
But we have a project right now that's wrapping up in Potosi, Missouri. But yeah, we go all around the region.
Yeah, Potosi. If you don't know those regions, they're down Highway 55, not Highway 45, Highway 55. But you're expansive there. Now you're getting where like you're dealing with like half the state of Missouri now. Which Missouri's about 8 million people. I'm a numbers guy. I have to track the data for all the big campaigns where these clients of mine spend $100,000 a month, and we better track that stuff. But back into we got to discuss this a little bit just to finish the first show. If you missed that first show, check it out, everybody. You can see it on our YouTube. It's going to air on ABC sometime. We're going to figure out when we're going to get it to air. But if you missed that, go watch it on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. But great information, and she gave a great response. Her Payton really helped us to understand the mistakes that people make. But let's elaborate on that a little bit. And when you're making a decision to have this kind of work done, and it can be very expensive and very expansive. Get to throw both those words in there. But tell me more about how the mistake people make when they're doing this. And is it cutting corners? Is it not understanding what goes into the back end of this to make sure that this, when you don't put the gravel down before, that would have kept things from eroding? Tell me a little bit more about the mistakes people make.
I would say big mistakes is just not looking into who you're hiring. You got to kind of think you're hiring somebody who's going to be at your house and making your backyard better, not worse. So looking into that they're going to do excellent jobs. Look into their websites, look into their photos they have, look into the reviews, look into what you're hiring. Kind of like hiring an employee. You got to kind of do like a background check on how they work and if they're a good candidate or not. Just doing your research, I'd say, would be a big thing to do because sometimes you don't, and then we have to go back and fix what somebody didn't do correctly.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive to do it twice than to do it because you're buying materials, you're tearing out the materials. You might have been better off just to leave it alone because now you've got a whole lot of extra work that you've created for everybody. But we don't want to work in that fashion that wastes time and energy. Yeah. We're all on this little plant for a short period of time. We want to make sure we get things done right. Do you do mostly residential, some commercial, or what's your mix there?
I'd say we have a happy medium. We do lots of residential, more on the hardscape, the pools, the concrete. Commercial is big with our maintenance and lawn maintenance. But there's we can do it all. There's not a no. We don't do residential. We don't do commercial. We cover both fields pretty well in all of the regions of the St. Louis area up to the other counties.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if you want to get, and you used a word there that I've heard before, but tell me, what is the difference between landscaping and hardscaping?
Yeah, so landscape is kind of just not as a larger scale. I feel like landscaping also has more plants involved. Hardscape, like the pool we did recently that we posted yesterday on our Facebook, it's a pool, it's a patio, and there's grass, but there's no landscape there. There's no beds, there's no flowers, there's no landscape. So landscape's just more of the mulch, the flowers, the plants, that kind of wraps the hardscape project together. Landscaping also is our like small garden walls that we do for residential. You could do it at a commercial property for like a leasing office as well. Those is what we category or put landscape under, is more of the smaller projects, I guess, for hardscape.
So your hardscape is the big cement jobs where you've got big slabs and big rocks, and you're like, it's a hard scape, and many times it is done with cement and concrete.
Yeah, a lot of them is pavers, retaining walls, and hardscapes including our outdoor kitchens that you incorporate with your retaining wall blocks and build it on, and then you put your granite for your countertops. But then the hardscape and landscape really work well together for like your projects that want the flowers, they want the plants, they want it to be, it's a special design is what I'd say.
Okay, yeah, and there's big machinery comes in sometimes. You got to have, what are some of the tractors and things that you pay? Skid steers?
Yeah, we use skid steers, yeah.
Okay.
Takahuchi is a big one we use. We use
What's
Case, Takahuchi.
Takahuchi,
Yeah,
okay.
so we go on TL6 to a TL12 or what we have.
She knows what she's talking about.
I hope. I've been around a long time.
Okay.
And then we have a lot of Case wheel loaders that we use for snow mainly, and we also use our Case wheel loaders for mulch. It moves a lot better on the asphalt. And then we have some excavators for clearing out big trees or clearing out along your foundation. We have a really good operator who can clear that dirt so that we can put in some retaining wall to retain it. He can get pretty close and not damage anything. So we have big machine operators to just a tiny little skidster.
There you go. That's what we're talking. You understand the difference there, because that is a hardscape, which is a relatively new term in the industry, I think. But
yeah, because like ours is bigger landscaping and concrete. Hardscape's not even in our name. So some people don't even realize we do it unless you go to our website or our social media.
Yeah, that's to communicate the word by doing the social media and those things. But I'm glad we talked about hardscape, because it looks like a lot of that is what you do. I'm looking at your projects.
It's a big part of what we do.
Okay. Well, tell me then, you've been doing this for a while, and maybe you can go reflect something that your dad worked on or you worked on. But tell me a time when you had somebody in a tough situation and you had to help them through it because they got left. Maybe you had somebody else working on it. Do you have any examples like that?
Right now, so we are working on a project, and we're on it, and then there's like 3 other contractors. So it's been a tough one because there's just been so much chaos. So it's just communicating with the customer and just telling her we're going to be there. It's just we have to work with all of the factors into it with all the projects she has going on. It's been good. We've really worked with it, and we've talked with the customer. We've gotten her happy. We're coming in. We're doing what we're doing. We might not be here today just because there's going to be people putting in a deck right where the patio is supposed to go, so you can't really do much. Just big projects like that where there's just stuff that's out of our control is really the hardest stuff you have to tackle. But we always get through it and communicate it, and we explain the situation and explain what's going on and the reasoning of why we aren't here or why we can't be there. Is the hardest thing. It's just the stuff we can't control is the hardest thing to explain.
Back to that communication thing, right?
Yeah,
if you communicate well and make sure everybody is on the same page, even if it's the things you can't control, explain to them the things that you can't control. Say, make sure these other guys are doing it. We have a multiple. How many? You said 2 other contractors?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3. She's getting her inside and outside basically redone. So it's just been a lot moving parts. So and we understand why she's probably feeling stressed because there's a lot of moving parts. But we just like to do our part to explain why we may not be there and what's causing it.
Yeah, what are the hurdles that you're overcoming? What's the biggest challenge you've seen with the business over the years that you guys have had to overcome? Was it 2008 and the big crash? I mean, that was maybe a little before.
I know, I've heard about it, but I don't recall much of it. The biggest thing, I don't really know if there's anything we can't overcome. The hardest thing is just, I guess, making the plan so everything moves and operates. We have a lot of moving parts, so the hardest thing is like equipment, making sure our equipment's not duplicated with the same machines going to different jobs. Just communication's key with all of our divisions. It's not difficult, there's times where you might find a hiccup, but then you just have to find the solution. But there's really not much. We communicate pretty well. And if for some reason there is a miscommunication, I can't think of a time we didn't find a solution to be able to get that part of the job done.
Yeah, and that's the key to anything. If you make sure that we talk about it, that's what I get my master's in. Everybody, so I talk about communication, right? Media communication, mass communication, and the way the interwebs works now. That's all stuff that we have to consider. I'm going to jump over and show off some of the photos you've got. We've got a lot of them on your website. I'll pull it up for everybody here first. And so here's the website. Great looking website. Good job. And if you look here underneath the gallery, get a nice sample of some of the work you've done there. And I'm going to pull up just a couple here, but man, look at that pool. That's a different pool, but that looks great too. And we'll scroll through a couple of these.
Yeah, so that one was really cool. So he used to just have a steep incline down to, there's like a lake behind that. And we built it into 2 tiers of retaining walls. So then now he has a flat spot for a patio, where he's going to eventually put a grill and a table. Then it overlooks the lake where he's at. So that turned out really good. And now he's got a nice place to sit and relax, and while he couldn't before.
Is it the same fixtures here?
Yes, it's that's his patio now, and so then it overlooks the lake. Yes.
Okay, where's that located?
It's by Hillsborough, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little lakes down there. Okay, yeah, that's a beautiful work. But there's some just great examples you see there on the.
That one's the pickleball.
There it is. Yeah, look at that. That's the one we need to talk about, everybody. Did you get to work on this project?
Yeah, so I got to do the plants that were put in and helped with the guys with the decorative rock, the placement, making sure that everything matched the design that was drawn previously. And it was really good, making sure the plants were delivered healthy and we weren't putting in something that was going to die instantly. It turned out really good.
Yeah, so if there's any showcase piece, that would be the one right there. That shows off what you guys are really capable of there, and we highlight that. A couple more here we'll go to here, and we're going to come back maybe later in the show. If you guys get a chance, check it out. You go right to their Facebook page. I'm going to glance over that here in just a second. But lots of concrete work that looks great in some sitting areas and driveways. Ooh,
that's a paver driveway, yeah.
Yeah, that's a heck of a driveway there.
Piece by piece.
It popped out. But yeah, it looks like you have well, like I said, take a look here. I'm going to jump over. Here's the Facebook page, and just click on the photos link, which we've already done here, so you can see where we're at. And then some awesome work here, and even some of the behind the scenes stuff you got to do, the drainage, and then you can see projects in the middle of the work, and the importance of backfill on these. I've been to exactly the same stones where they actually fell over, but they could tell
because they didn't do it right.
They didn't support it right. Is that you run into that sometimes when people don't know what they're
doing?
doing?
We've had to do some repairs on walls that weren't installed correctly, and they backfilled it with soil rather than rock. The rock helps the drainage to go through. The dirt just pushes it down.
It just goes with it. Yeah, these are things that you don't want to do it that way, and you can see here these are experts.
Yeah, that's my brother. He's put in geogrid behind it. It's something to do with once the wall's so high, you have to put geogrid. I believe it's to help it support, but I'm being honest, I'm not 100% sure.
That's what your brother.
It's my brother's expertise.
Okay. Well, lots of fun, like we talked about, and good work that you're doing here. We're going to share a little bit more of what we've done in the community with some recent excitement, and take a look here at some of our fun.
Hey, Carter. Welcome
Cool.
back.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Well, show me what you guys are doing here. I heard a lot of fun things.
Yeah, welcome to Perform Fitness. Happy to show you around.
All right, let's check it out. I'm going to leave the trophy right there. Is that all right?
Yeah, sounds
all right,
great. We'll start to the right here. We have a couple recovery rooms and wellness rooms, which I think really makes us unique. We have this room, which we're calling our multidisciplinary room, where we have physical therapy, athletic training, nutrition, all kinds of wellness activities that can happen out of here, massage. And then we have a recovery room that for now is outfitted with an infrared dry single person sauna and some Normatec boots. Thinking about how we can be creative in adding to our wellness in this area. And then we have a couple change rooms, some bathrooms, and What I think really makes us special is what we're doing with our training facility. So here we're an adult strength and conditioning and youth sports performance facility. Have some lobby space for our parents, hoping to get an air hockey table here to make it, spice it up a little bit. And then we have about 2,500 square feet of turf and rubber.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Well, here we are. Like I said, like the media stuff, just be connected with the world and doing everything you have to communicate these days. And that's where we talk about our book. Here it is, Magnetized Media, bestseller on Amazon. Who wrote the foreword here? They're coming in here. I've got a text I've got to answer from these guys to talk about another expert they've got coming in to meet us. But here it is, everybody. I'm getting to the page. I know I've got it here. Here it is. Right there. There we go. See that guy with the goofy hat on? There we go. I'll take the hat off now. But literally, like, media has changed the way the world functions. If you don't understand media, that's kind of, you're in charge of that too, right? You say you've always got a camera in your hand. Tell me how media has impacted everything you do. You've got your social media, your website. Tell me how that works for you guys.
So it's made it a lot easier to promote and show customers what we do. It's always good to have a visual, even if it's with the paver style or the colors or the plants or anything that could go into your project. It's good to be able to pull up a photo and be like, this is what we did. Do you like what's in here? What do you not like? And it makes it kind of easy to customize a project around one photo that a customer may be looking at, so then we can get a ballpark on, you know, what they're actually wanting. I
like that slider you've got going back there.
No, for sure. It shows it all off. I like it a lot because then you could just sit there, look at it, and then it shows you also everything that we cover without having to go in a deep dive into our website. But it just, a photo really can also tell like a picture or like a story of how the project is, and also like for us, you look at it and we have befores and afters, and a photo that you can post on your social media also can help advertise what a customer can do and what they can change a backyard into, and then change it into, you know, their own oasis. So I think with that, social media and technology, it really makes it easy to promote what you're doing and to show, rather than just, sometimes it's hard to understand words, but a picture really tells the whole story.
They say a picture tells 1,000 words, right? Says 1,000 words. But yeah, I mean, these days it's nice to see somebody like us older guys. Like I'm a lot older, but I've just kind of been engaged in this, and I realize that if people will take the time to put their stuff out there on this new thing called social media, they will boost their business. But if you're not doing it, guess what? Your competitors are, and they're gonna push you out of the way, because they've got people want to know before they spend $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, and they'd like to see an interview too. By the way, I've seen that, we've proven this. If you look at some of the results from our guests that have been on the show, they said, "Oh yeah, I made $300,000, $350,000 by being on your show," and I'm like, "What?" And lots of great response like that. But people want, it's all about information. My mom's a teacher, sister's a teacher, dad was a college admissions counselor. Education, if you can inform people, they'll more likely to do work with you. So that is kind of what you've implemented here, to put out all the resources to make it easy for people.
For sure, and it even makes it easy for us to look at a picture and explain it, because we do so much. You can pull up a picture and it's like, here's what we can do, and customize it to their project to just simplify it.
That leads to, well, I can imagine by now somebody's going, how do I hire these guys? What's the process? Walk me through the process a little bit for somebody to say, I want Payton to come out and Baker Landscaping Concrete to do some work for me. What's the process for somebody to do so?
They could call our office, or they can visit our website.
Okay.
We have something on our website they can fill out. They can tell us, you know, what their project is, if they have a budget, what that budget is, anything like that. And then it will get submitted, and we will get it in the office, and the office will reach out. You could also call and tell us what you are looking for, and we can set up the best person. If it's concrete, we have Stan, who's the concrete manager. If it's hardscape, it'd be Robert, who would come out and look at your project. If it's something that involves everything, it'd be Adam. He knows how to design and incorporate the landscape, the hardscape, the concrete, the pools, you name it. So it really just depends on the size of the project and what's in that project, of who we would send out. If it's a garden wall front landscape, it could be me, or it could be Eric or other designer. But we have a lot of people who can come out and give a proposal or an idea of, you know, to what your project's going to be or what you're wanting to put into it.
She knows it all right there. You were naming off everybody on the team. You know who's in what position, how long, you know what they do, and what their role, and how they make this all work. But it sounds like you have that process pretty well nailed down. That's encouraging to see somebody with the professionals and you bring to the table here. What is the biggest question people have though before they get started? Is it always price, or what's the biggest question? We call it an objection. What is the objection people often have with regard to the work that you might be solicited to do?
Yeah. I'd say it just depends on the customer. Some customers don't know what they want. They just know they want to change their backyard. So they're listening to your input. They're wanting to know your ideas. And then there's the people, and they have ideas, and they want to know if their project's even possible with their terrain or with how their setup is. Sometimes it's as simple as they want to incorporate, or some people just tell you what they want, and then you're like, okay, that's perfect, we can do that, and then you put it together.
Straight to the point, right?
It really just depends on the customer, if they know anything in their field or not, or if they just want us to design something, send it to them, and then we tweak it from there.
Yeah, but you have the software and the resources to take somebody and says, blank canvas, here's what we'll do for you, tell us what you want, and they can see a live rendition of it in 2D or 3D before they make a decision and decide, oh, I do want that or I don't want that, and move things around and change it.
Yeah, it makes it really good. The 3D really helps, especially on big projects like the one right there. Like we got to render it and, you know, show it to the customer, and then you could show it to the customer afterwards, and it looks pretty much identical. But it helps the customer to see what's going in, because before that it's just a yard, like you don't know.
Yeah, it was a place that was just an empty backyard, nice grass.
So it made it an easy canvas to start from. But then it gets to make the customer more comfortable, you know, to see the idea of what we're thinking, and then to see if our ideas align. So it's good. We get to do so much, and we don't have to bring in any subs. It's all in-house, so we get to communicate as a team rather than having to communicate with other customers, or not customers, I guess contractors, yeah.
Okay.
And it's one moving part rather than several others.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's a great benefit because you guys do have the gamut to cover all of the needs, and so for the exterior, right? And so then, yeah, they're not dealing with this guy does the rock and this guy does concrete, and this guy does the trees. You can cover that from top to bottom for everybody. Very cool. Well, it sounds like you guys have a very good handle on how to run this and been doing it for very long. What gives you the most satisfaction out of what you do now, what your family's done for a quarter of a century almost?
Yeah.
What is it like, and what do you enjoy most about it?
I enjoy just seeing the process. It's fun to go into a backyard and then putting something in that you couldn't even visualize until the project is done. It's fun to see an area turn into something more, and sometimes you can make your yard look a lot bigger and a lot more entertaining just by a simple design or a simple garden bed or simple, you know, little hardscape with putting in like a fire pit or something. You can really transform a backyard, and it's fun. It's like an art to see it transform, and I enjoy seeing our guys work and being able to do all these different things and the confidence we have in them, and make you guys, you know your stuff. It's fun to see everybody grow and to see everything just develop and get to the finished product.
How often do you have to coach your client? Is that every single time? Is it, let me explain to you how this is working, what the process is here, what we're doing, and things. Oh, well, I like your idea, but that won't work because. Do you become a coach, or you're a consultant here now?
I don't have to do it as much, but there's definitely on the bigger projects you have to, like, say, trust the process. I know it looks crazy right now, especially when it gets to something that big. You have to make it a mess before it looks good. So you have to explain to the customer it's gonna develop, it's gonna look better. You just gotta give it a few more days, and you'll start to see the vision coming together.
I like what you said there. Trust the process. And so often there's a matter of, if people don't understand, back to the communication thing, and you're going, hey, we have this down, we've done this before, let us do what we do, and we will make sure that this turns out right, and you've got the experience and the history to do that. Does that make you feel good when you see a finished project?
Oh, for sure, and it turns out great. It really makes you feel good and be like, okay, let's go to the next one, let's do it again. So that makes it really good to see. And just, you can make it, I love to go and you see a backyard, and then once the finished project's there, it doesn't even look like the same place. It looks like a whole different experience and a whole different invitation to when people go to their house. It's really fun to see.
Yeah, now people can have that vacation in their backyard, or they can have that event at their house. And boy, you think about how often you have to rent a venue and all the work that goes into that. But literally, you're helping them to create their own oasis for them to have a happy place where they can live there and entertain and do everything else. You've got a pickleball court, a pool. I'll put that back up, everybody. A pool and a putting green, all within about 75 feet of your back porch. You've really got quite the place to live.
Yeah, and you got it all in privacy.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. This is your little castle show. Giddy up.